Oh, hello there. So, as you can see today, I'm still in the office here, but I want to do this video to show you something very interesting that happened in the last few days for the world of AI. I know you should be tired of hearing about AI, but trust me, this time is interesting. So come with me upstairs and let's see what we can do. Okay, here we are. So stay with me a second. Today, we are following the agent-to-agent protocol announcement by Google last week. But we are starting before to let you understand the whole picture of what's the agent environment right now. And we're also talking about MCP servers. So, little bit of a step back. You know, we're talking about AI. This is the context. LLM, large language model, now everybody knows what they are. ChatGPT was the first one, but we have a lot. But by itself, an LLM cannot really do anything, can just answer your question. You send the LLM some prompt, and you get back some information, and that's what the basic LLM does. In order for the LLM to be able to do stuff, to get data from external, to do some kind of action, to be able to interact with external worlds, you typically have to code yourself some kind of tool. They are literally called tools or functions instead of LLMs, where you basically, in your application that uses an LLM, you define a tool in order to make the LLM itself be able to access some external data. For example, the basic example that everybody says is, oh, if you need your LLM to be able to access the weather data, you define a weather function, and you plug it in your application, and this you can do with the standard SDK for any LLM, for example, the OpenAI SDK. You define the tools in the API call, and you say, okay, dear LLM, you're able to do this action, and this action is defined as this with some kind of prompting, some kind of definition, etc., etc., etc. The next step is all of these tools had to be custom defined, so they had to be for every tool. You have to do your own definition, you have to define everything, etc., depending on your implementation. So, for example, if you do one tool coded in TypeScript, you cannot interact it with another one written in Python without any adaptation because everything is custom. What Anthropic did last year in November was to invent the MCP protocol. The MCP protocol basically is a protocol that is standardizing all of these tool calling. And basically what this tool calling does, it's simply the same tools as before, so the AI capability doesn't change. It's simply AI calling an external tools, doing their own stuff, but in a standardized way, because now somebody else can do the MCP, and you can call it, and you know that interface is exactly the same, so you can plug and play any MCP whatever you want. And this is a definition by Anthropic last year, November 2024. This is very useful because now your agent can use tools that somebody else created for you. So you can simply plug and play between the MCP protocol, your application with MCP server. What happened last week? Yet another protocol definition, the agent-to-agent protocol, A2A by Google. So this is still very early stage. The specification isn't yet defined completely, so it's still a work in progress, let's say. But a lot of companies have participated to this. So what's going on basically? The agent-to-agent is a next step on the standardization of AIs all over the world. Because while MCP standardized the LLM to external tools capabilities, so the LLM being able to call a different tool, to call a resource, to call a function externally, the agent-to-agent standardize the communication from one AI agent to the next. What does it mean? In the world that Google is envisioning, not only one single agent can access a lot of tools doing their own feature, their own capabilities, but there is a agent-to-agent collaboration between the tools, between the agents, in such a way that there are multiple networking between the tools. What does it mean? I'm thinking about something like, imagine that you are a travel provider. Let's say you're a travel provider and you need your people to book your hotel, your flight, etc., etc. Right now, you can do your own LLM integrated with the APIs of the travel provider. Maybe they even have an MCP. Difficult, but maybe they even do an MCP. But still, you have to do everything yourself. So you have to do the call, the API, etc. Imagine that you have your own agent that is your personal assistant that interact with the agent of the travel agency, meaning that the two agents talk by themselves. So imagine, we're talking Google, imagine your Google Assistant going to the travel assistant and talking with each other. They can define, oh, when I get the flight, when it's good for you, can I get the hotel, etc., etc. And you simply get the action back. So in the world that Google is envisioning, you have something more of a machine-to-machine autonomous collaboration. So not only you have to define your own environment here, but Google is envisioning this kind of services, agent to agent, AI to AI. And when the AI will become more powerful, when it knows more about you and it can do stuff for you, you can imagine that this kind of relationship will get even more powerful. What does it mean for you? So I envision this meaning that in the future there will be an even bigger use case for agent, where today you have your services, which are website, blogs, stores. Tomorrow you have a lot of agents floating around of which you can interact and basically define the behavior and the services that they provide. So imagine these agents like really sales agents, travel agents, all kinds of agents where your application can interact directly. So it's a future where even more agent-to-agent collaboration is envisioned. What does it mean for you, developer? It means that by adopting the A2A protocol, you will be part of this new environment. So if the A2A protocol will get widely used, because as of now has been just defined last week, so doesn't yet exist in the whole world. But let's imagine that this becomes the standard, like MCP is becoming for the tool usage. If this will become a reality, then by getting your agent to adopt the A2A protocol, which defines what are your capabilities, how to communicate with you, etc., in a standardized way, your agent can serve the internet. So imagine that your services will be provided not only through you, but through your agent, and your agent can go and basically do the work for you. So this is the news that we have today. Of course, I stayed very high level. If you want, we can go deeper on the implementation itself, even if it's early days for this. But let's see, the future seems going towards something that is even more machine to machine, agent to agent, and AI doing a lot of stuff autonomously. And now we have the AI, it's getting even more powerful. We have the AI being able to use a lot of tools, and we have the AI being able to communicate with one another. So let's see what the future holds. And thank you for being here, and see you in the next video.